My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. That's my real name. The name or the identity forced on me when I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama from Buckingham Palace is Peggy Ann Dempsey, and married name is Childers. I'm showing Larry Flint where he endorsed me in April of '84. I ended up coming here to Roanoke in '86 of October '86. And this is an article that was written when I was living on the Appalachian Trail to have a place to be. Roanoke Times, no, excuse me, this is Atlanta Journal. I'm here in Roanoke. Sunday, November the 26th of '94. Now then, I want to read just an article from that because this involves the mental health system. Nobody has ever been sued. I can't get an attorney to touch it. They're afraid of it. I had written a book in Atlanta in '77, '78 when Larry Flint was shot, about Larry McDonald, the doctor whose plane went down in '83, and I got in the campaign and flown to Flint's for political support. I wrote about mind control and programming people to shoot and kill, or you can create illnesses or cure them and make it. You can murder and make it look like deaths of natural cause, heart attacks, strokes, suicide. But I'd been to Flint's in I was running for Congress against because Larry McDonald, the congressman I wrote about, his plane went down. So I was running for U.S. Congress when I was flown to Flint's in October of '83. Now this is '84, and I haven't seen Flint since. And they did the article April of '84. Hope I'm not skipping around. I'm in pain from the crap that's gone on. Now then, I came here to Roanoke with no money, no nothing. And here's what they say. And this is just nothing compared to the whole mess. 11 years ago, Peggy Childers, that's not even my name, I can't use my name, was among congressional hopefuls in a race to succeed U.S. Representative Larry McDonald, the Cobb County conservative who was killed when a Korean airline was shot down over Soviet space. Now dubbed Crazy Margaret by hikers along the Appalachian Trail, Childers is in a homeless shelter in Western Virginia, ousted last week by U.S. magistrate from the tent she called home in the National Forest. I can go on and on about this. I have in prior tapes. Whole point is that, folks can't just stay there. These hiker shelters aren't meant for people to set up resident living. And this was by Assistant U.S. Attorney Ken Zorings, who prosecuted the case. I have to say, this is weird, because the case they're talking about, anyway, they've done just about everything, and they can call it crazy. And background checks don't show the truth, let me say that. Larry Flint, in his endorsement, says that I knew who was responsible for his shooting. He says Thomas Murphy, Larry McDonald, Culver Kidd, and anyway, that's kind of cryptic. I'm going to say this and show it. This is Timothy McVeigh, and if you go along when they ousted me and locked me up on several occasions from the Appalachian Trail in a lousy tent and I was freezing and starving in front of everybody. So you're not getting the truth. It's glossed over. But if you find when the Oklahoma City bombing happened, you'll find that this is one of the times they locked me up. The Waco, so you follow a timeline. Anyway, Timothy McVeigh is dead. He said the military put a chip up him. This is William, who named his son George after his Elizabeth, his grandmother, who's she's an illegal monarch. Um, and her father, George VI, is the one that helped kidnap and take down his own um, brother, my father, King Edward VIII, who married. Let me go ahead and put this. My father, this is the real King Edward VIII, married the O'Keefe. My mother was Catholic, American commoner. Claudia Ruth, sister to Georgia, the artist. And here's a picture of Georgia. Now, this is the double that was used to marry Wallace Simpson, an imposter, and help take down my dad, all with Joseph Kennedy, who was ambassador. That's John Kennedy, who I find now was flying in and out of England when I was kidnapped also. He and his father, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, my uncle, George VI, the illegal monarch, and this is okay, a 99-year seal put on my dad's takedown and my kidnapping. Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II. And this woman is an imposter. She is not the monarch. Now here's Caroline, who just became ambassador to Japan. I hope they find out who was really behind the bombing and brought it all about so that they know the Kennedys. Wow, the truth will either kill you or set you free, right? So here we got JFK and the mental health. And that was in 62. And 63, yeah, I do know where I was. I'd been put through hell using their mental health. A Jew, Hammond Miller in Huntsville, Alabama. I walked in there not knowing my real name, knowing nothing about any of what had happened to me, just a horrible life. I walked into his office in Huntsville, and when I walked out some years later, my mind had been, my brain shocked, psychotic drugs. You wouldn't believe it. So in 63, I'm working at Pizzitz in Huntsville, and thank God I had a friend there, a relative, who was deliberately brought over. And yeah, I know where I was. I was being worked over from excuse me to excuse me by the Americans and the Jew. Now then, so JFK and his vision for mental health, I don't know what he's talking about there other than mind control. And then if you find out about it and you try to tell about it, well, they can use the mental health and lock you up and give you psychotic drugs and say you're crazy. So this is my uncle, George. Roosevelt in 39 planning my kidnapping. Now then, there was a shooting here yesterday, and I'm not going to, it was a state senator's son that died, and he was stabbed. And if you read all of it, well, what people are saying, the son, he was 24 years old, and he was a nice person. And if you get into these mind control killings and shootings and all of it, they try to say it's mental health, and they lock the person up and all this. I've been telling you this, and they know it. So I'm assuming because of some patterns used in it that the one yesterday with the senator and his son dying, and he was stabbed, that was one of them. The thing, and by the way, there was another killing at Lynchburg yesterday morning about the same time, college student, same thing. He was supposed to be a good guy, and suddenly he goes crazy, and the cop has to shoot him. This is in Lynchburg, Virginia, near where the other happened, not too far. Now then, it's talking here in the paper about preventing another Fort Hood shooting. Well, first of all, mind control has nothing to do with mental health. They're using mental health to lock them up and make them pay for a crime they didn't commit, and give them psychotic drugs. It's a murder weapon, mind control is. Okay, the first thing you do is to admit to mind control is being used as a murder weapon. And by the way, you can go to YouTube and download it. And MK Ultra is one of them that was using this, and it was supposed to be stopped in like about 53. Nothing stopped. By the way, I want to say this now and tie it back. Elizabeth and her father became illegal monarchs. They signed treaties that allowed the Americans to put their bases all over British soil, therefore use it as a launching pad to take over the world. And ask yourself, if anybody cares, why has the United States got an Area 51 in Australia and all the other stuff they've done? So anyway, the Fort Hood shooter was from nearby Virginia Tech. He finished college there where the other shootings took place, 33, and the shooter was from South Korea. He was a student there and ended up shooting himself, just like yesterday the young fella did, that his dad is a state senator from Virginia. These are mind control victims, and people hate them, and they're just as much a victim, if not more, than anyone in it. First, you have to admit the mind control is being used to stop it. Okay, I'm going to show another picture of the Fort Hood because he finished school. He was even born here in Roanoke, Virginia, Vinton, Roanoke, and this is a picture of him. He was a psychiatrist. Here is the Aurora, Colorado, the Century 16 shooting with James Holmes, who, by the way, is being treated with psychotic drugs, and he'll end up in prison forever, or executed. So where do I want to go from there? There's a whole list of them that I told about before, when I was doing the book, before any of this, in 77 and 78. And like I say, Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and the person that shot him and killed his attorney in Lawrenceville, while I'm doing the book in Marietta, Georgia, about, 60 miles away, maybe 45, he was programmed to shoot Larry Flint. And I don't know what other, the Virginia Tech is enough. There's other murders that happened there and at the University of Virginia and the Columbine, but there's a lot that happened that I wrote about in the book, and I never got to have it published. I had a letter from the U.S. Attorney of an ongoing investigation, national security involved. It was dated June the 23rd of 79. April the 1st of 80, I was filled full of antifreeze, and it was a fiasco, one place to the other, and I should have died and gone into a coma. Nobody has been prosecuted for anything along the way, and I hope this makes sense to you, because mind control is invisible, and the ones I talk about, the murders, were done in patterns. So there had to be a purpose for that. Now, over time, whether if power has changed hands and is ever told, I don't know. But you're not immune from it, people. You may think you are, but you're not.